whatever you want to do, whatever goal you have in mind. If you want to be an entrepreneur, you want to be a bus driver, a high school teacher, a PA, a orthopedic surgeon, like whatever you have in your mind that you want to do, you need to consistently be doing those things behind the scenes that will get you one step closer to who you want to become. Once you're aware of something, that is when you have the chance to change it. Hi, you guys. Welcome back to my channel. Some of you that probably clicked on this video, you want to learn about self-discipline, how to become self-disciplined, what I'm doing that may help you or encourage you in some way. Yeah, I think the framework that I have in place and the bullet points that I'm going to talk to you guys about today are pretty good, just starting points, I guess, for you to become more self-disciplined. And I go into depth of like why it's good to have that. You guys are probably wondering about the mic. And so I actually got this mic. I feel like it had to have been like 4 or 5 months ago because I've been wanting to start my own podcast for some time now. And I just really haven't had the time to just like strategically figure out a plan. And just, I didn't want to start a podcast without like knowing kind of like what I really, really want it to look like. So I've been doing some research and that will hopefully happen in the next few months or even honestly the next year. So that's why I have this mic. And also, if you guys are wondering, this is the Q2U by Samsung, and it was like $100. So I think this is a great starter mic. I like it. It plugs into your iPhone. It plugs into your laptop. You just need to get the correct extensions. So like this one. But yeah, without further ado, let's just get into the video. I'm really passionate about this subject because for someone that may not be an expert in this field or know a ton about self-discipline, I will say that I am someone that has had good self-discipline for years now. Even at a young age, I was that girl that woke up at freaking like 5 a.m. I was that girl that read those books, listened to those podcasts, listened to self-development stuff. And I think I just have a good take on it, and I'll tell you exactly why I do those things that I do. So without further ado, let's just get into today's video. For starters, let's just understand kind of like what self-discipline is. It is the ability to control one's feelings and overcome one's weaknesses. The ability to pursue what one thinks is right despite temptations to abandon it. To me, self-discipline is no matter how you feel or emotionally, mentally, physically, you are consciously pushing past those barriers and overcoming things and achieving things. You are consistently taking action to who you want to become in the future. All right, so I'm going to share with you guys kind of like 4 tips that I have or 4 things that I would like to share with you guys that may help you become more self-disciplined or how to stay self-disciplined. So number 1 is being self-aware. Like, I truly think that self-awareness honestly can be a bit intimidating. Like, you don't want to admit that you spend 3 hours scrolling social media. You don't want to admit that you have a bad habit of smoking or going to the gym, coming home and just like eating 3 donuts. Like, you do not want to admit those things, but you know deep down that they're not the right things to do or helping you in your health journey or helping you just in the long term. So you don't want to be able to face that. It can be a little intimidating, like facing that, right? Or even just like saying it out loud, like this is what I do. But I think number 1 is just once you're aware of something, that is when you have the chance to change it. Number 2, if I were to ask you, what does your schedule look like? Like, send me over what your schedule, what your agenda for the day looks like. How would you feel if you did that? You guys, time is precious. You have to be intentional with your time. So what are you doing throughout your day that is helping you get to where you want to go in the future? If your schedule is filled with temptations or you have a daily routine and you are filled with temptations around you, whether that is coming home from the gym and you have cookies laid out on the counter, if you are constantly scrolling on social media when you should be studying, like what are the bad disciplines or bad things or bad habits that are robbing you of good disciplines? Ask yourself, like, hey, should I be doing this? Is this actually helping me towards the person I want to become? Is this aiding towards my growth? And if not, then you know exactly what the bad discipline is, and so eliminate it. If you want to lose 10 pounds in a few months or in 5 years, like set systems in place, right? Like James Clear talks about this, and I always bring it up every time that I'm having a discussion with someone because I think it's so profound. Like your identity needs to change in order to change and sustain a habit. So if you are someone that wants to to read a book, you don't just say, I want to just read this book. I want to become a reader. You identifying with someone as a reader is automatically like imprinting in your mind. Somehow there's science, there's so much science behind this, but in the book Atomic Habits, it's really good. I highly recommend. It's a great book to read, especially if you are someone that is trying to get better habits or sustain better habits or whatever, or even just like grow in general. These small changes that he talks about in this book is just really good. I say that because you automatically identifying as someone that does something, you're more inclined to do it. It's backed by research. So I say that because if you're also someone that wants to go to the gym early in the morning, okay, well, let's set your clothes out the night before. So you are intentionally making choices that will actually bring you success, right? So when I wake up, I'm like, oh, okay, look over at my clothes. They're already set out. I can't use the excuse of, oh, I have nothing to wear. I don't have a sports bra. I don't have my socks. I don't have my gym shoes, like all that stuff. Like, you are already making intentional choices to succeed at that task at hand, right? This goes hand in hand with making a schedule. I actually use Notion. This is not sponsored because I'm not even eligible to be sponsored yet, but I'm confident that that's going to happen in the near future. I use Notion. If some of you guys aren't familiar with it, it basically is just like a workspace that has everything, all these templates that you can add, you can craft together your to-do list, your tasks, your calendar. You could insert or embed web pages. Like, you could do so much stuff, and it just helps you be more productive and just have everything all in one space. And so I use Notion. I have so many like left-hand tabs that it's like the Bible, journal, YouTube videos, agenda, podcast, resources for social media, just like everything all in Notion. I'll leave the agenda link below of what agenda template that I use. All you need to do is just click free or something, and like automatically downloads to the Notion. And so in my agenda, I write down everything. Like, I'm talking everything, you guys. What's on today's to-do list? What I love about this is it shows me every time I do check off a box, like, I am capable of executing these tasks. So I'm capable of being self-disciplined. I'm capable of going to the gym, running the 5 miles that I wrote down that I would do, texting that friend that I haven't seen in a while to get lunch. Like, I'm capable of doing these things. And so once you continuously keep doing that and keep these tasks in front of you and look back, like, you'll notice what you're accomplishing. You may think they're really small, but they actually end up being really, really big. Like, if you can do the small stuff, if you could make your bed, put the dishes away, call your grandma, read your Bible, do these small things, they will eventually turn into bigger things, and it will eventually just become automatic, like something that you don't even think about doing, right? Like, I don't consciously be like, oh my God, I need to go to the gym today. It's not even that I need to do it. It's like, I want to do it because it became so automatic. Waking up at 4 a.m. and going to the gym, like, that is something that I want to do. I choose to do, not because I need to do it, but because it is just a habit. Like, it's what I feel. I feel my best when I do that. And so that's why I do it, right? And that's a good discipline to have. I'm awake at 4 a.m. and I told myself, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do it for years. And I have, like, ever since I was probably, I think like 20 years old, I would literally wake up around 4 to 5 a.m. every single day. Every morning I would get my workout done because that is something that I have just told myself I would do. And so it's just an automatic habit. Like, automatically it happens because I feel my best self when I do that. All right. So number 3 is surround yourself with disciplined people. I'm seriously saying surround yourself with those type of people. For one example, Tim, my boyfriend, for some of you that don't know, Tim, my boyfriend, like, he is the most self-disciplined individual that comes to mind when I think of an actual person, like, in my circle, in my life. This man is so good, and it almost inspires me to be like him, like, be more like him in that way of self-discipline. Like, when he says that he's going to do something, he's going to do it. So, like, last year, for example, he wanted to run the Chicago Marathon. This man, like, he played basketball in college. Like, he has obviously the stamina, endurance, but that was also in college. Like, he's now 25 years old. He's never ran a marathon, let alone even a 5K before. And so he was like, you know what? This is what I want to do. I want to challenge myself while also lifting weights and staying consistent in the gym. So, of course, he trains for it. He does it. Like he just runs a marathon. But that's not because he just decided to one day wake up and be like, oh, hey, I'm going to run a marathon. No, it's because he consistently set systems in place that got him to where he wanted to go. So he didn't just one day be like, oh, I'm just going to train for the marathon in a month and everything's going to be good. Like, no, you guys, it's hard work, dedication. You need to consistently be doing it in order to see results. And I think consistency is the one word that like really pops out, especially when it comes to self-discipline, because it's not just, you don't just wake up and have self-discipline one day. I really think it's like you consciously have to be making these changes and consistently doing things, doing the action to execute it to its entirety. Whatever you want to do, whatever goal you have in mind, if you want to be an entrepreneur, you want to be a bus driver, a high school teacher, a PA, a orthopedic surgeon, like whatever you have in your mind that you want to do, you need to consistently be doing those things behind the scenes that will get you one step closer to who you want to become. So if you want to become a PA, like heck yeah, you're going to have to study. You're going to have to work hard. You're going to have to get an internship. You're going to have to surround yourself with materials that are actually helping you grow in that thing, right? Like you're constantly making up things and you're sacrificing things as well. And when it comes to self-discipline, you have to sacrifice things. So right now, honestly, if you are angered by what I just said, it might be because this is something that you really needed to hear, but it also goes hand in hand with being uncomfortable. You need to put yourself in a position where you could feel uncomfortable. But I'm someone that's always, same with Tim, we're always trying to strive for more. So for me, I decided to run a half marathon. Is it easy? Am I a runner? Absolutely not. But I'm challenging myself because it is self-discipline, right? Like that aids into self-discipline because I can consistently be doing things that are adding to where I want to go or who I want to become. If I can consistently show up for myself and run even on days that I don't want to, even on days where I say, oh, my tummy kind of hurts in the morning, or I just have a really busy day, I can't do it. Like, those are excuses. If your life consists of just excuses after excuses, like, yeah, self-discipline is probably not going to be easy for you. You want to be self-disciplined. You need to surround yourself with people that are like that. All right, so number 4, you guys, can you tell that I'm really passionate about this topic? I wish I could make this into like a 45-minute video. I am someone that is not always motivated. I will tell you that right now. When I wake up, and I have to go to the gym, and I have my alarm set off at 4 a.m. and I wake up, there are days where I'm like, you know what, Alexis, like today's just not that day. But I'm not doing that every single week. I'm not doing that every other day. I'm going to give myself rest, right? And so I'm constantly not always motivated, but that is another thing to push past that boundary where it's like you feel like not motivated, you're not physically ready, or you're not emotionally wanting to do something. That is what self-discipline is getting past that threshold. So I'm kind of contradicting what I'm saying right here, but I also want to be very clear that it is also very important to reward yourself. Like, give yourself grace when necessary. If you are working towards your goal and you're noticing that, hey, you know what, you just need some rest, or it's been a really hard week or whatever, like be mindful and be aware that it's okay. You don't need to be on your A game every single day, but I think it's important to also be aware of like, when do I need to just keep pushing forward, or when can I just relax and kind of just stay in my lane for today? And that goes hand in hand with making a list and just checking it off. You could see your progress, you guys, and I think it's so important. Like if you're trying to train for a half marathon, or if you're trying to train for a marathon or a tennis match, whatever, like make a calendar, write out what you're going to be doing on those days, check them off. And then when you look back, you're like, oh my gosh, like I did a whole week of that. Like, I'm so proud of myself. Give yourself grace. I don't think it's bad to give yourself a pat on the back or anything. Like, I am 100%, I'm a believer in praising yourself. Like, if you are not praising yourself or saying that you're proud of yourself, or just never looking at like the positives, and you're always looking at, oh, I could have done more, or I could have done this, like didn't reach my goals. Like, I truly think that will just spiral you into such a bad place. So when you are doing things, you're consistently doing something, whether it comes to a goal that you want to achieve or whatever, and you are doing it and you are putting in the work, you are not making excuses, like give yourself a pat on the back, you guys. And just side note disclaimer, I want to just say this really quick because I think as someone in this social media culture right now, we go on social media and we are told, oh, to be successful, you need to wake up at 5 a.m. To be successful, you need to drink green juice. To be successful, you need to pay for a Pilates class. To be this, you need a journal. You need to make sure you spend quiet time. Like, I want to tell you right now, like everyone is on their own timeline. So what you do in your day obviously will impact what your future looks like, but do not for a second compare where you are at in life to someone else's journey. They are on their own timeline as you are. And so stay in your lane. And I just want to encourage you, do what you feel is right for you. Don't try to do something because you're told or you saw it on social media or, oh, this is how you make so much money in a given month or what. Like, do things that are actually aiding to who you want to become. I will give you an example, but for a really long time, I was like, you know what? I need to make money really quickly. I need to do this. And so I was honestly, you guys, going to start an Etsy shop. Like I was going to start an Etsy shop. I had no intention of actually doing it. Like I'm sorry, but like Etsy shops, amazing. If you are someone that is crafty, that can, crochet or paint mugs or do acrylic paintings, like all that kind of stuff, like amazing. Like that is, I wish I had the gifts to do that kind of stuff. When it comes to creativity, yes, I'm creative, but when it comes to what I was trying to do, I was trying to create mugs and sell them because I saw that it could make you fast money. And so I was trying to do something, but it wasn't even true to who I was. Like it's not true to who I am or what I would want to do in the near future. So I was like, wait, like, is this really lining up with what I believe in? Is this really lining up with the person that I want to become? I say that because you are on your own journey for a reason. Like God gifted you with your own gifts. I just hope that you don't compare yourself to where someone else is or do what other people are doing because you feel like you need to. I really think that you will find joy in life and you will naturally become more self-disciplined when you start doing things that actually line up with who you want to become. So just a recap. Number 1 is just self-awareness. Be aware of what is taking up your time. Number 2, make a schedule and eliminate the things that are robbing you of good disciplines. Number 3, surround yourself with good disciplined people that you want to be like, people that you aspire to be like, or that you are inspired by. And number 4, reward yourself, you guys. Give yourself grace because this life is not easy and it's not always easy to feel motivated. It's not easy to wake up every single day and just feel like, oh, this is my day. Today's going to be a good day. Like I get in those mindsets where I'm like, you know what, just I'm not really feeling it. But it is those that push past those thoughts that do themselves a favor because it takes hard work. It takes dedication. It takes sacrifice. And if you want to be the best version of yourself, if you want to see the success, you need to put in the work and you need to have self-discipline. So I hope you guys have an amazing day. And I hope this was really helpful to you guys. If there's something that I did miss or that you want to share with me, please, as always, leave them in the comments below. And if you are new to this channel, I hope this helped you in some way. I hope you guys like this mic. All right. Bye, guys. It's really, really hot in here. I'm in the sunroom, and it is very, very hot. So if you guys start seeing sweat drip, like, I'm sorry, but I'm sweaty. So didn't empty it out with your buffalo chicken dip. Dang. Sorry about that.
Why is the air running and the door open and the windows are open?
Because he was whining. Yeah, can you get that fan on? Can you pull that? BRB.